Hello, hello, and welcome back to For Book's Sake. This is Heather Roberts.
And I am Veronica Adams, and together we are 1852 Media.
And it is Friday. It's a beautiful day here in Vermont. I don't know how Illinois is, but I'm
It's
assuming
gorgeous today. It almost
beautiful
feels
day.
like fall. It's like so close to pumpkin spice latte
Ooh.
weather. Okay,
Oh,
like
that's nice.
70s, low humidity. It does not feel like July outside. Let me tell you.
I need to walk outside because it looks like it's low humidity, but I don't believe it until I go outside and check it out.
Yeah,
So
for sure, for
we
sure.
need some low humidity days. This humidity has
Yeah.
been killing us.
No, things are
And
beautiful here in the Midwest.
yeah. I will say Vermont it's not been terrible weather, minus the rain and the storms that have been
Hmm.
terrible. But other than that, it's just been hot and humid,
Yeah.
which is normal for every like other East Coast place, right? Like
Hmm.
I'm used to it because that's where I lived. I lived in the
Yeah.
East Coast my
Sure.
whole life. But people in Vermont are not used to the humidity. That is a new thing.
Hmm.
They are not enjoying it. And that is
Yes.
it
Yes.
is very different.
I recall when you guys first moved, there was some kerfuffle over the fact that central air
Yeah,
conditioning, does not come standard in many of the homes in New England, and
correct.
especially in your part of Vermont. And I remember your husband being particularly affected by this, and it really narrowing your search for the home that you were going to stay in
Yeah.
forever when you guys were ready to move on from your rentals. So yeah,
Yep.
I would imagine most people are not acclimated.
They are not. Most people do not have central air conditioning.
Yeah,
If anything, they have mini splits where
right.
they've, installed the mini splits, which are fine, but not also they're not central air conditioning.
Hmm.
Um, we have it in this house, which is basically a unicorn up here that
Right.
does not exist. Even in newer houses, they weren't building them with them. So yeah, we were very lucky that this house we
Hmm.
weren't purchasing a house without it, and we were lucky
Right.
we found this house. And
Right.
people gave us crap. They were like, "Oh, you don't need it. You just open the windows
So
and
now
you
you're like,
let the
hey
fresh
guys,
air." Yep.
look at this.
Yep. And now all of our friends without central AC, they're just like, "Oh my god, it's terrible." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know."
Yeah. All I
Anyway.
can hear is Ron Burgundy. It's so hot out. Milk was a bad choice.
So true.
Yes, yes. No,
So true.
we've been through it here though. I have to say, we had a derecho move through a couple days ago. There's been some
Mm.
pretty bad storm damage to the north, tornadoes, I think across Chicagoland, and then there's been a dam failure a few hours to the south, closer to where I grew up. Um, St. Louis and Metro East flooding heavily. Like
Oh yeah.
it's been kind of a shit show, but it's
Yep.
beautiful today.
Yeah. But it's beautiful today. We still have a road that's down the street that's not
Oh
in
my god, I
existence
forgot
anymore.
about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Road's gone.
I
Gone.
forgot about that. Yeah, you guys have also had some severe stuff. Oh, the
Mm-hmm.
hurricane, Beryl.
Yeah, we had the
The
leftover
leftovers of
barrel.
Beryl. That's right.
Yeah, it hit us pretty
So
hard.
we
And
need
I
to
think it's
become a
just
weather podcast.
you only get two locations though. You get Vermont
It's
and
true.
Illinois.
Yeah, New
New
England and the
England and the
Midwest.
Midwest. If you're not in one of those locations, my
Yes.
apologies. But now
Yes.
you're updated on what's going on.
Yeah, right. Next week
Uh,
on For Book's Sake, we'll start talking about how we've developed bird watching habits.
oh, but okay. So what we're talking today about, a company that has shown its whole ass this past week. That would
That
be.
is such a cute pun. I love
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. I came up with that all by myself. We're talking about Sticker Mule, of
Yes,
course. That's
yes,
the
the
pun.
sticker asses.
The sticker asses.
Yeah.
If you've been living under a rock or you don't know, okay, so the Sticker Mule sent out an email this week to their entire subscriber list that was very political in nature, and it did not go over well.
Yeah.
Um, Also, so we can learn a few things. I'm going to read the emails, but we can learn a few things from this and take a few things away from this. Number
At
one,
least.
you need to know your audience. Okay, know your audience.
For sure.
I don't know how many times we've said that on this podcast, but You need to know your audience. Sticker Mule makes stickers.
Yep.
Okay, that's what they do. They make other things too, but it's mostly stickers.
The name of the company is Sticker Mule.
Correct. And they make okay stickers. Their stickers are not like exceptional or anything like that. They make fine stickers for cheap prices.
They are competitive.
They're competitive with their pricing.
Quality and value, obviously.
Yes.
They've made a go of it.
They made a go of it. They're pretty popular. So who's using Sticker Mule? One would ask. A lot of small businesses use Sticker Mule for their stickers. A lot of other small business sticker companies are purchasing their custom designs from Sticker Mule and then reselling them. And then artists, lots of artists, creatives are using Sticker Mule.
Anybody with a job in the arts, musicians, photographers, authors. Makers, lots of makers.
Generally, if you were to, I don't know, survey the artist community, the creative community.
Okay.
If you were to survey them.
I'm looking for a man in finance, blue eyes, 6'5", like that's all I can hear in my head is, okay, so the right is finance bros and the left is all the creative folks. But like,
but there's a stereotype for a reason.
Exists for a reason, right?
If you were to survey, I'm not saying that there aren't creatives that don't lean more conservative. Certainly that exists.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
100%.
We're all on a spectrum when it comes to almost everything. So,
but usually those who politically skew more left-leaning, even moderate to left-leaning, we're not talking about, whatever. Left of center tend to be, that would be, if you were to poll creatives, most would be polling left of center for their political views.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sticker Mule decided to send out this email this week. They sent out a few, but let's start with the first one. Okay. Also, a lot of people are saying that what they posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, and what they sent in their email was exactly the same. It wasn't, because I have both posts, and that really bothers me when people are like, they posted the same thing on Twitter. No, they didn't. It's not the same. Similar, not the same. Sorry, just had to clarify that. Okay, so here's the email. Hello. Oh, by the way, the subject line, I think this is key. The subject line was Trump 2024. Okay. Hello. Donald Trump was shot. I don't care what your political views are, but the hate for Trump and his supporters has gone too far. People are terrified to admit they support Trump. I've been scared myself. Americans shouldn't live in fear. I support Trump. Many at Sticker Mule do. Many at Sticker Mule also support Biden. The political hate needs to stop. Hopefully this email helps. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. By the way, this week, then we go to, by the way, BTW, by the way, he types out BTW.
Okay.
This week, get one shirt for $4, normally $19, and it's hyperlinked. Okay, so this is a call to action. I suggest buying one that shows you support Trump. The more people realize that millions of kind-hearted, compassionate people support Trump, the sooner the hate will end. Awesome people all over the world love Trump. Don't limit your friendships and diminish your happiness by indulging in political hate. Vocalize your support. Stop the hate. Anthony Constantino, co-founder Sticker Mule. Wow.
I don't even know where to start with that.
Yeah.
I think that most people named Anthony suffer from privilege that they don't necessarily see or are not self-aware enough to reflect on. Let's just start there, right?
Yeah.
Lord almighty.
Listen.
Politics aside, this is such a bad look for your brand.
Yeah. That's the thing. One, you are decidedly coming out. You're a sticker company. Like
Yeah.
Veronica and I, we are very clear. I mean, if you listen to us, you know that we have
We
political
are
views.
unambiguously
More
politically
more
to the
left
left.
leaning. Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
I'm not sending out an email on behalf of the company
Mhm.
that says Biden 2024 because
Right.
that's not my place to do that. I don't, I'm not here espousing certain
Right.
beliefs on behalf of the company. I
Right.
personally hold certain beliefs.
Yes. Yes. And we as a company operate in such a way as to put those beliefs into action in the work that we do.
We uplift
But
many values from that spectrum of beliefs. Yes,
girl, we are the most inclusive publicity and marketing firm in the business right now. Like
I agree.
the most inclusive.
I mean, we've had people come to and tell us that we won't, oh, I couldn't get my book. This company wouldn't, help me
Yeah.
market it because it
My
has
my
daddy
content or
play.
because of who I
Yeah.
am, behind
Hmm.
the pen name, like all like
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
And
I
and
mean,
we don't turn those
no.
people away.
No.
You have good content, we will help promote your book.
But
Period.
like the personal politics of our clients also really not a factor.
Yeah.
Mostly because we haven't had a run in where there's been some sort of need to make a definitive statement on some sort of issue. But like we have clients who are way more progressive and left leaning than we are. We have clients who are very conservative.
Yeah.
And it, I mean,
It doesn't we don't it doesn't involve our business because it doesn't involve the business. As long
right.
as everybody who comes into our business and comes
Hmm.
into like who we work with maintains a certain moral integrity
Right.
and it maintains certain values,
Hmm.
with their consumers, with their readers,
Right.
and with us, we're not talking about your political stance on XYZ. Which just it doesn't come into conversation because
Right.
we are talking about promoting books. Okay.
And I am
We're,
here for all the books. I'm here for all of
yeah,
them.
exactly.
Even
And
even if
we're
they have stuff in them I don't necessarily agree with, I'm here for all the books.
here for all the books. And just like Sticker Mule, before this, likely, obviously, this co founder held his personal beliefs. I imagine they've printed stickers that have more left leaning progressive
For
phrases on
sure.
them,
For sure.
100%. And they've printed them and taken your money and done it happily because they're a sticker company. That's what you do. So,
I
him,
I recall a time when we were in a company meeting with a third party who was providing some guidance to
sure,
our rebrand from years past, and we had the conversation about how everyone, like, when you're in business, okay, if you're a capitalist, if you're trying to make a profit, let's put it in that box because I know there are some people out there who don't necessarily think that's appropriate, but like if you're trying to make a profit, everybody's money spends the same, right?
yeah, it's all
So
green.
you have to decide what your individual values are going to be about how much of that money you're pursuing and whose money you want to take and do business with, right?
Right.
um that's a personal choice that you have to make as as someone who's in business for yourself. But this is completely different.
This is totally different. That's what we're trying to say. Like having
Yes.
your own personal beliefs, even having a company that maintains certain values that may
Right.
lean one way or the other,
Right.
that is still completely different than quite literally spamming all of your customers' inboxes
Hmm.
with your political message
Right.
completely unsolicited.
Well, and tastelessly pushing
An
sales.
agenda. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
it, well, and
like
sales.
it's not even just
Yeah.
listen. Nobody deserves to be assassinated. Okay, can we just, as a
Right.
like
We can agree
moral
to that. Yeah.
bar on the ground, moral bare minimum? No one
Bar
deserves to be murdered. Okay, no
bar
one.
is on the ground.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. From there, we get to some sort of interpretation of never let a tragedy go to waste, or like this is the moment where I'm finally going to be brave and speak out about my convictions, but also buy my shit.
Yeah. Right.
Anthony, is this really about your values or is this about a buck? Come
I
on now.
I know. And maybe he felt like,
Tasteless.
all
Tasteless.
totally tasteless. All publicity is good publicity because I don't know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I don't agree with that mantra, if you will, or that what is that staple
Yeah.
of I don't agree with
Yes.
that. There is some publicities that's just bad
For
publicity.
sure.
Yes, they're talking about you, but so yeah, Anthony had a lot of unsubscribes. A lot of people. So this story doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If it just was the one email, okay,
Yeah.
and everybody had a kerfluffle and people unsubscribed, fine, right? People they talk with their wallets all the time,
For sure.
right?
For
I
sure.
do it, you do it, everybody does it.
That's why not all publicity is good publicity, because some
Yes,
publicity will cause consumers to start voting with their wallets and they may take their money elsewhere because of the publicity you've gotten.
exactly.
Case in point.
So, and that's fine. That's your
Yeah,
right as a consumer.
for sure.
So, Sticker Mule then sent out a second email. Okay. Here's the
This
second
this
email.
this is the fatal mistake in my opinion.
Well, there's a third part that I think is the
I
fatal
know,
mistake.
but
But
it
yeah,
was bad enough before the
it
third
was,
mistake.
yeah. Hi, crazy week! Exclamation point. I gave $2,500 bonuses to all 79 people on our support team because they received death threats. Also, $2,500 in bonuses to all 79 people on our support team is a hyperlink. I don't know where it takes you because I don't have the original email. I'm not on Sticker Mule's subscription list, by the way.
Right. Right.
So I don't know where it takes you, but the fact that it's hyperlinked and it's taking you to somewhere on their website is, what is that, a press release? Like what? Okay, moving on. That must stop. But on the bright side, we paid out $195,000 in bonuses. What is, what? What in the brave new world is this? Okay. If people expressing hate towards us want to feel good about something, they can take credit for helping our support team earn sizable bonuses.
Or you could pay them a living wage and then the bonus would be unnecessary for the job they do.
Or you just give them a bonus periodically. Right.
I love it when big companies pat themselves on the back for giving their workers any sort of compensation over and above the bare
Yeah.
minimum. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, 60 years ago, that was the standard in this country.
Also, can we discuss that they received listen, death threats are never okay. But you caused, Sticker Mule, you caused this ball to go rolling downhill.
Yes, I believe the phrase goes "fuck around and then find out."
Yes.
Your customer service employees ended up bearing the brunt of the find out phase of your fuckery. Like, that's all there is to this.
So yes, you probably did need to give them more money so that they didn't quit on you.
Right.
I mean, I feel like that was more of a bribe for them to stay than a bonus for them, dealing with whatever. Anyway, okay.
Also, who out there is making the goddamn death threats in the first place? Knock that shit off.
Knock it off. Death threats are never appropriate. Once again, the bar is on the floor.
Isn't it though? Isn't it?
Moving on. Also, we changed the deal to 50 stickers for $9 through Friday. Hyperlinked. So we're going to also tastelessly sell. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope my message supporting Donald Trump and encouraging respect for all people, also hyperlinked, becomes a learning moment for everyone. I don't think we're learning the same things. As much backlash as we've received, it's good for society that people learn that lots of people with capital letters, big hearts, support Trump. I want maximum happiness for everyone. Anthony, co-founder Sticker Mule. P.S. In other news, we made a commercial where everyone is naked. Hyperlinked. I, I, I
That's
have,
it. That stunned silence. That's the response, right? Like,
yeah, I have no words for this. This is wild.
yeah.
What? This is another shameless self promotion, right? The
Mhm.
fact that they are, here's a hyperlink to buy my shit. Also encouraging respect for everyone when then also not respecting everyone. Um, and then ending it with that PS is literally the wildest thing
I know. I know.
I've
Well,
ever.
I recently found myself in a situation where I expected someone to take accountability for a decision that they had made, and that did not happen.
Yeah.
And so now I'm reevaluating my relationship to this person and their access to me in my life.
Yes,
And I think that that's a great analogy for what has happened here. Anthony made a decision.
he
He made a
did.
decision, and the consequences and outcome of that decision were not ideal, especially not for his employees, who do not deserve the kind of abuse that they have
Right.
probably suffered as a result of Anthony's decision. So instead of taking accountability, Anthony cuts checks to these people, publicizes it, pats himself on the back for it, and then says, "Oh, and by the way, check out our new marketing material and don't forget to spend more money on my shit."
Yeah. I wonder if it's working. I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. I hope they don't have record profits out of this bullshit.
It is exhausting to be someone who is going through therapy in a world where more people need to be in therapy and are
Yeah.
simply not doing the fucking work.
This is why Veronica and I, we've talked about this before,
Yes.
where there is the grayest of all gray lines in this industry in business. And people that come into the authoring world or, ancillary industries, right?
Providing support services or running
Right,
a
support
business that
services.
occasionally an author needs to make use of, like Sticker
Right.
Mule.
That there are no rules, really. This
Hmm.
is an example of a company just doing whatever, and there's no rules, and it's absolutely wild. This is not professional, in case anybody was
No,
curious.
it's not.
This is the opposite of professional. And we expect people to act with professionalism when you own a
Hmm.
business, right? Like that's the decorum level that has been set by society to act in a professional way.
Yep.
And when there's such a deviation from that, it's shocking and just like, what? What? And they're still in business, at least as of today. However, here's the third
Listen,
thing.
if there's a demand for someone who behaves the way Anthony behaves or who has Anthony's now public beliefs,
All right.
let the market support this man and his stickers
Let the market
to
sort
the
itself
extent that
out.
there is a demand for them. Okay? Like, I don't begrudge Anthony securing the bag here at all. Not even a little bit. We're all trying to
No.
pay some bills. We've all got our own hustles. That's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
If the market will still support Sticker Mule after this, then so be it. Okay? But like, the backlash, the upset customers, um
He brought that on himself.
the next thing he does,
Yeah.
all a direct result of his decisions and his behavior.
Yes.
No one else. He has no one else to blame but himself.
Well, so speaking of the next thing he does, so then he decides to take some emails that were sent into the company email
Yes.
address
Yes.
of people expressing their distaste for
Uh-huh.
his email, and decides to post them unredacted on his X account,
Yep.
completely doxing people, then causing them to receive death threats from
Yep.
the other side and harassment and all sorts
Yes.
of
Yes, from the
things.
people who think like Anthony does. Right.
Correct.
They are now also in the death threat fray because they're attacking the
Yes.
people whose emails addresses emails and email addresses and personal information have just been made public in the town hall, town
Right.
square of X. Right.
This company took private customer data
Yes.
and publicly put it out on the internet
Uh-huh.
for people to then take and do with what they will.
Yes.
And Anthony, my friend, not really my friend, but you know what I'm saying. Anthony, what happens when you put this type of stuff out there. You just sent out an email that said that your own employees were receiving death threats and being screamed at. So
now you're
knew
hand
what
selecting former
Yes.
customers for the exact same treatment because you don't like the way people have reacted to your decision.
I thought we were all about maximum happiness here, Anthony.
I thought it was really loving, big-hearted, kind people and compassionate people who support Trump.
Right.
This is the antithesis of loving and kind-hearted and compassionate. This is cruel. This is calculated. This is immature, and it is
vindictive.
It's vindictive. Yes, it's revenge-seeking behavior.
It's vengeful. It's gross. It's gross. And so now, I know some authors who are concerned because they had sent in emails of distaste, and they're concerned that their information is going to be thrown out there, or maybe it already was, and who knows? I don't know. But this is where we're at. This is the discourse. It's July, friends. It is July.
We have until at least long time.
Till November. I would like to say that it's going to end in November. It's not going to.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think the dust settles until after Inauguration Day.
We're talking about January.
Happens, we're talking about chaos for probably another 6 months. Minimum.
Everybody's talking about we need to take the temperature down in the political discourse of this country. This is now political.
Yes.
It's not a political podcast.
We've reached the level of assassination attempts. I think that's true. It's time for somebody to put out the fire.
Right. But doing things like this is not helping.
Right.
So if you are a company, don't let this be your model. Make this be your model of what not to do. And let's learn things about what Sticker Mule is doing. Also, I will say there are other sticker companies.
Yes.
If we're looking at a silver lining bright side about this,
yes.
who've taken this moment and really embraced upon it. And they put out some really funny TikToks.
How could you not?
I know. Really great TikToks, really funny tweets, just really... really well done. Great senses of humor over on these other sticker companies. Yeah. And I applaud them for it. There's Sticker Giant is one of them. Sticky Brand is another. Mm. There's several. If you search for alternatives to Sticker Mule, there's an entire Reddit thread of alternatives that are listed. Great options.
For sure.
Great options.
For sure.
Go check them out. And find a company that's run by people that you want to support.
Yeah. And remember, your First Amendment right to free speech is not without freedom from consequences. Okay.
Right.
Everything you say. I mean, and we take that risk every week. We get on the podcast 100%. And we talk very openly about how we feel about things. And we are here to, I guess, deal with whatever the consequences are for exercising our free speech this way.
That's right.
But the complete lack of accountability here. The taking things to the extreme in trying to be very careful and what I want to say and what I should say are two very different things in this situation.
I feel ya.
Listen, you can post whatever you want, right? You can share
Yes.
whatever you want. You can market however you want. Like Anthony seems to think that this is an appropriate way to run his business. That's fine. If his business succeeds after this, then obviously he made the right choice, right?
Sure.
Um, but putting other people at risk
Yeah.
is
Knowingly doing
unconscionable.
that. Yeah. Knowingly putting
Unconscionable.
your employees at risk.
Uh-huh.
I could never. I
Well, and then taking it to the next level after the employees have been put at risk, patting yourself on the back for rewarding them for like suffering through it,
right.
and then doing basically the exact same thing to your customers who are unhappy with your decision, as you most certainly knew some of them would be when you decided to do this.
Yeah.
Based on the way you worded the first email, it's not like you didn't know this wasn't going to happen.
He could have gotten, if his entire point was we need to like slow down political hate, we need to cool it and
Yeah.
bring some unity to this country. You could have worded that email, if that's the message you wanted to get out, in a
Hmm.
completely different way
Yeah.
that doesn't that isn't labeled Trump 2024 number 1, isn't a political, message,
Right.
that is more of a unifying message of let's come together in the world of stickers. Let us, make
Yeah.
stickers. Here's a coupon code. Show the world what you believe and make
Yeah.
stickers. And it could have been a lot more vague than
Right. Right.
he made it, if that was actually his point, which goes to my point is that wasn't his point. His
Right.
point
No, no, no.
was, I'm a Trump supporter and I feel like personally violated and
Right.
I'm going to tell everybody that I'm a nice person and
Hmm.
you need to believe that I'm a nice
Well,
person.
that's it, right? Like it's the double speak because the
Yeah.
violent rhetoric and the vitriol, I think, are atypical of people who are in the center or lean left. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily true of people who are on the very far left, but that's a discussion
Sure.
for another day, right? This email was an attempt to use like classically democratic liberal buzzwords like compassion and
Right.
kindness and to flip that in a way that serves Anthony's political opinions with respect to the political right and his support of Donald Trump. Um turns out just a completely barefaced manipulation.
Yeah.
Um
This
because
was a very
no
sorry, go ahead.
kindness or compassion shown for anyone
No.
impacted
No.
by his decision to do this.
Right. This was a very that's my point. Like this is a very selfish
Yeah.
I email. This is all about Anthony.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with Sticker Mule per
Yeah.
se. Anthony just happens to be one of the co-founders of Sticker Mule. I
Right.
have to wonder where's the other co-founder or other co-founders and what are their takes on this?
I hope for their
Because
sakes that Anthony just goes by co-founder and he bought them out a long time ago cuz I mean,
can you imagine
holy
if,
headaches.
yeah,
Holy lawsuits coming for the doxing, Anthony.
right. That's illegal, my friend. So anyway.
Yeah,
Don't do this. Your customer list, number one, are your should be your main priority. You
for
never
sure.
share them with anyone.
Yeah, make sure you're up to date on all of your legal rights and
Yeah,
responsibilities for the data that you have in your newsletter lists and other
right.
places you collect customer data, your stores.
So that is a number one lesson to take
For
away.
sure.
And number two, think about the message that you're putting out to the customers that you have.
Yeah.
And like I said, if his real intention was, to spread love and to spread unity, that could have been accomplished in many different ways. And this was not it.
Yeah.
This was not it at all. So you reap what you sow. And Anthony is sitting down for a banquet of his own consequences right now. And, we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
See
And
how
Sticker Mule has now found itself in probably a position where it needs to find new markets to find new people who want stickers because
the creative community is pretty out as a collective
I,
whole.
I'll tell you what, Romance Landia is pretty pissed off. So
Yes. Yeah. And it is spread far and wide
Uh-huh.
across the artistic community. So
Makers and creatives of all types just tapping out and going elsewhere for their stickers now. And
and
again, they're right to do so by voting with their
yeah.
wallets.
And there's plenty of other fantastic alternatives.
Hmm.
Sometimes people just use one company because they've gotten used to it and it's out of
Yeah.
habit. So now you have an opportunity to go find a new company that you like.
Yes.
But
Or if you're listening to
or
this and you're all in on Donald Trump, go buy all your stickers from Sticker Mule if that's really hot. I mean, if
if
those are
that's
your
how you
convictions,
feel, that's right. If
go
you
give Sticker Mule your business.
that's right. But now you have a choice to make, and you can
Yep.
make that with your wallet. You can
Yes.
decide to support who you want.
And
So
this is a classic example of how not to manage your brand, just from a 50,000 foot
yeah,
overview. Like,
right, right.
classic case. Classic
This was
case.
completely unnecessary. So until next time, we will talk about hopefully not another PR crisis, but you
Ah.
never know. You never
Oh,
know
the
in the
way things go,
climate.
man. It one after another.
Yeah,
One after another.
we'll see.